Hey everyone, how's it going? Cloud here, and welcome to my guide on the Cold War quest. Now, for this quest you need the following requirements, so you need these skills: level 10 Hunter, level 34 Construction, level 30 Crafting and Agility, level 15 Thieving, and the ability to defeat several level 42 creatures. That's it for the requirements. Now onto the items. So you're going to need access to a crafting table 3 or 4. Now this is what you can build in your player owned house. It requires level 34 construction to make, hence why you need this skill requirement anyway. It is possible to use a friend's house, but I would personally just build one yourself. So all you need to do in your player owned house, you need to make a workshop, and then there should be a spot to make a crafting table 3. If you haven't built a crafting table to begin with, what you'll need to do is bring several planks to make the original one, and then I think it requires some molten glass to upgrade it. But like I said, it is possible to use one at a friend's house if you have someone on at the time. So you're also going to need 10 oak planks, 10 steel nails, a regular plank, a mahogany plank, a piece of silk, Clockwork Mechanism or a steel bar to craft one, and we'll talk about that a bit further on. I would personally just buy a Clockwork Mechanism from the Grand Exchange. I believe on the Grand Exchange though it's just called Clockwork, so if you just type that in it should come up with it. You will need a spade. The one in the tool belt will not work, you need to actually have one in your inventory. You'll need a piece of swamp tar, 5 feathers, these are just the standard white feathers as the coloured ones won't work, some soft leather, and a raw cod or a ring of Charos. And obviously some weapons and armour and food to defeat the level 42 creatures when you get up to that part. But that's it for the requirements and items. Now onto the quest starting point. So we're currently at the Lodestone, which can be accessed via the Lodestone network. Now if you don't have this one unlocked, in the description below I have a guide on unlocking the Lodestone network, and it just makes completing quests a lot easier. From here, the quest starting point is by speaking to Larry, who's at the southern entrance of Ardone Zoo, which is directly south of where we are now. I've got an icon being displayed on the mini-map, so just watch where I'm going. So when you reach the zoo, you want to go near the bit where the penguin enclosure is, and you should see Larry. You want to speak to him, and he'll seem a bit paranoid, but he's looking for somebody to help with his research project to learn about penguins. Larry instructs you to collect 10 oak planks and 10 steel nails for building the lookout, and meet him at the entrance to Keldagrim east of Relica. However, if you have the materials in your inventory and talk to him again, he'll teleport you to the right place. So you should be taken directly to the iceberg. If for some any reason you haven't, if you teleport to the Fremennik province Lodestone and keep heading north directly from there, you should then see Larry and a little canoe, boat, whatever you want to call it, and you can use that to travel to the iceberg. So once you arrive on the iceberg, look for a firm snow patch next to Larry, and you want to build the bird hide structure here by using an oak plank on the patch. Click on the lookout again and you'll be prompted to cover it in snow using a spade. And when the snowy bird hide is ready, you want to speak to Larry. So you'll now see a rather strange cutscene with 2 penguins basically performing emotes for each other. Now this is going to be different for each player, so yours is not necessarily going to be the same as mine being shown now, but the penguin will do 3 greetings, and you need to try and take note of these emotes as you'll need them a little bit later on. However, you can check via the quest journal when it gets up to a certain point, and you can do trial and error. But there are 8 different penguin emotes in total, and they're all similar to the normal character emotes, and the greeting will consist of 3 of those. So the 8 emotes are shiver, cheer, twirl, wave, clap, bow and flap. So those ones are pretty easy to tell the difference of, and then the other one is called preen, which looks like he's rubbing his head against his wing. So yeah, you should recognise pretty much all the other emotes. It's just the preen one that you might think, what the hell is that? But yeah, it looks like and I have this one actually on my emotes to do this time. It looks like the penguin's head is rubbing against the wing. All the other ones are pretty similar to the standard character emotes. Anyways, after the cutscene, you took note on what the penguin emotes are. You want to speak to Larry and suggest to him that the behaviour of the penguins in the cutscene was suspicious, and he insists that you move on to the docks to prevent eavesdropping. So you want to return to the dock by using the nearby boat and speak to Larry again, and now here's when things get strange. Larry wants you to spy on the penguins by creating a penguin clockwork suit, and he gives you a book filled with instructions on how to make one. So we're going to go make the Clockwork Suit now. What you need to do is collect a regular wood plank, a piece of silk and a steel bar, or the clockwork already. It doesn't really make much difference. And you'll need to use a crafting table 3 or 4 to make the clockwork. So if you have your own one, that's all well and good. You can go to your own player own house. If not, you're probably going to have to try and ask a friend. If you want to make the crafting table yourself, what you're going to need is 4 oak planks and 3 molten glass, along with a workshop in your house, and obviously the 34 construction, which already is a requirement. So either way, once you're at the relevant crafting table, you need to read the book that was given to you about the clockwork toys. Now, if you don't have a clockwork and you have a steel bar, first you want to make it into a clockwork by using the crafting table. Once you've done that, you then need to click the table again and select clockwork toy and then select clockwork penguin to make the suit. So once you have successfully made the suit, we need to return to Larry, who's at the docks at the Fremennik province. So we're going to teleport to the Fremennik Lodestone via the Lodestone network. So once you've found Larry, you want to use the boat to get back to the iceberg, and after returning you'll see that the lookout has been completely destroyed and all the penguins are missing. Speak to Larry and he blames the penguins, and now since there are no penguins it appears impossible to test the suit. However, you suggest to Larry that you could test the suit on the penguins at the zoo, and Larry kindly assists with a teleport back to our dome. So you need to free your hands and cape, so you need to make sure you're not wearing anything in those slots, and talk to Larry, and he'll cast a magic spell causing you to shrink, and you can enter the penguin suit, and now you can test out the disguise. So you want to head into the penguin enclosure and talk to the penguin, who is really an undercover KGP agent, and he will be the only penguin with a talk option, and then the emote sequence with the earlier cutscene will now be required. So if you cannot remember, or you did not write down the emote sequence, then you can take off the suit and then it will be then available in your quest journal. Otherwise you can go by trial and error until you get it right, as your character will say if you did the correct emote for each stage. So once you've done the 3 emotes successfully, the agent will respond, and apparently the penguins are trying to learn to fly and escape from Ardone Zoo, and the penguin gives you a mission report to return to the outpost, and also asks you to speak to the penguins in Lumbridge. So you want to exit the enclosure and speak to Larry to get out of the suit. So when you tell him about the conversation with the penguin agent, Larry wonders how the penguins could be hiding in Lumbridge, and you now need to track down his agent, and Larry will catch up with you later. So the penguins we're looking for are actually disguised as sheep in Farmer Fred's sheep pasture, so what you need to do is teleport to the Lumbridge Lodestone via the Lodestone network. Once there, keep heading north until you get near Farmer Fred's farm, and you should be able to find an option to climb over into the sheep pen, and Larry should be on the western side of the farm. Use the tuxedo time option on him and you'll go inside the penguin suit once again. So you want to find the sheep, which has got 2 penguins sort of hiding underneath it. It is pretty noticeable. And before speaking to them, you'll need to perform the secret greeting once again. Once you've done the greeting, the penguins still don't speak to you, demanding a secret phrase, and also angry at you attempting to blow their cover. So you need to speak to Larry, and he helps you both return to Ardone Zoo once again. So once you're back at the Ardone Zoo, you need to tuxedo again before entering the penguin enclosure, and you need to speak to him. Now, if you have a raw cod in your inventory, the penguin will trade the phrase for it. Alternatively, if you're wearing a ring of Charos and you don't have to have the activated one, the unactivated one does work, you can just simply get the penguin to give you the phrase. Either way, one of those 2 options, the penguin will reveal that the secret phrase is "Do not trust the walrus." So we need to return to Lumbridge and go back to Farmer Fred's sheep pen once again, so I'll speak to you in a moment. Once you're back at the farm, get into your penguin suit again and talk to the penguins, and they'll obviously ask you for the phrase which you now know. The penguins will tell you to talk to Farmer Fred to see if he's an undercover agent for the humans. So what you need to do is come out of your penguin suit and speak to Farmer Fred, who's inside the main house, about the penguins, and use either the bully option or warn option. Both will work. When you're done talking to Fred, you want to then return to Larry and get the penguin suit once again, and then talk to the penguins again. So pick either option in the conversation with the penguins and they give you the location of the outpost. It's on the iceberg you visited earlier under what appears to be an avalanche, and they'll also give you the password cabbage. So speak to Larry again and you'll be teleported back to the iceberg. If you need to leave the iceberg for any reason, you can return the normal way, which is by speaking to Larry north of the Fremennik Lodestone. So you want to wear the penguin disguise again and head northwest until you see a KGB agent. Use the emote greeting and then tell him the password, and he'll then ask you for an ID which you do not have. So you need to speak to Noodle, who is the black market merchant near the agent, and he'll trade you a KGB ID card and mission report for 1 swamp tar and 5 feathers. With the counterfeit document, speak to the agent again and he'll let you through, and you need to investigate the avalanche behind him to enter the outpost. Once inside, go in the first room on the left and you need to debrief the agent. He will take all 3 mission reports from you and tell you to move on through the door at the west end of the room. So you want to head up this corridor over here and then through the door at the end. Once you go through the door, the camera pans to show a penguin army, and you suddenly realise that their intentions are a little more devious than just flying. If you speak with the army commander, he tells you that the penguins are getting ready for the invasion and you need to follow the signs with arrows to the agility course. So you need to head over this direction here to start the agility course, and then you need to navigate your way through it to the end bit. This agility course isn't exactly difficult. If you do find you're taking a lot of damage though, just eat some of the food you've got in your inventory. So first you need to climb down the steps into the water, and then you need to avoid the moving ice in the water by sort of going diagonally like I am. Once you've done that, climb the stepping stone at the end, and then you need to jump across the next stones to reach an ice platform. After you manage to cross, continue on the path until you come to a shelf with icicles on it, and you need to use the tread softly option to get across, and you have to repeat this several times at each shelf. Once you've got to the end of there, you now need to have to climb up the ice. This can be very annoying as you can take 20 life points each time you fail, and the failure rate is quite high. If you have only minimal agility, level 30 for example, it's going to take a little while to get up there. Just literally though, just keep clicking each bit of the ice to get up, and eventually you should make it right to the top, and then you'll have a small cutscene of you sliding down the hill, reaching the end of the agility course. You then need to speak to an instructor and they'll say you are done with the agility arena and free to go wherever you wish. So now what we need to do is return to Larry by going back through the base, through the entrance that we went a minute ago, and then obviously where he was a little while ago, and I'll speak to you in a moment. So, talk to Larry and tell him what you've seen, and he'll tell you that according to his research there is a secret room deep inside the glacier where he thinks all the war plans are being made. So have Larry put you back in the suit and return to the outpost. So once you're back in the base, what you need to do is keep heading straight up until you come to some massive doors. Ask the agent in the control room if he'll let you in, and he says his orders are to let no one through the doors. So what we need to do is enter this small room to the east here, and you'll see 2 penguins, Ping and Pong, who represent penguin rebels, and ask you for a cowbell and set of penguin bongos to replace their outdated musical instruments, as they need to make a new song. So now we need to return to Larry to find out where we can get these instruments. So once you're back and speaking with Larry, he'll suggest that you steal the cowbell from a dairy cow in Lumbridge, and you can also make the penguin bongos by using soft leather on a mahogany plank. You can only make the bongos while in human form, but you should have those items with you already, so you should be able to make the bongos straight away. So the easiest dairy cow to find is in Lumbridge. If you teleport to the Lumbridge Lodestone via the Lodestone network. Once you arrive, cross the bridge and head into the cow enclosure, and then you should see an option to steal the cowbell from the dairy cow. Once you have both the bongos and the dairy cow's bell, we now need to head back to the iceberg by going to the Fremennik Province Lodestone, and then head north to get the boat back to the iceberg, and then obviously head into the base from there, back in the room where Ping and Pong were. So I'll speak to you in a moment. So once you're back in the room, give Ping and Pong their instruments, and you'll see a cutscene where the two penguins play a song which distracts the guard at the control room. While the guard is distracted, you can operate the control panel where the agent used to be standing to open the door, and you'll now be able to enter the war room to the northeast. So you'll see a cutscene of penguins planning to take over RuneScape. Sadly, the penguins have set up a magical device which reveals any intruders inside the war room. The penguins in the room take your suit and you're taken to a cage filled with IceLords. They're level 42 and you'll need to kill a few before you're able to leave via the gate. The IceLords use range as well as melee, so be a little bit conscious of that. But they're not exactly difficult. You should be able to pretty much kill all of them very quickly like I did, and then you can exit the cage through the fence door made of ice. How you then escape is to exit through a chasm which is east of the IceLord cage, and once you are out of the base you can return to Larry one final time to finish the quest. So once you speak into Larry and tell him everything, he will thank you and it will come up, congratulations, you completed the Cold War quest. You're awarded 1 quest point, 2,000 crafting experience, 5,000 agility experience, 1,500 construction experience, the ability to make the penguin suit. To enter the suit again you need to talk to Larry again at the zoo, pier, farm or iceberg. You can use the penguin agility course. And during the penguin hide and seek minigame that you can do once a week, you'll now receive 2 points for selected penguins instead of 1, and 2 treasure hunter keys and 2 hearts of ice. So there we go. Overall, not a difficult quest, just a bit of sort of running around in the different locations, especially the part where you're trying to learn the phrase so you can get into the iceberg. But there's no real difficult parts during this quest. Even the final little fight at the end is not difficult at all. The rewards from this quest, not too bad. The best part of this reward is obviously getting 2 points from the penguin hide and seek minigame. Now you can do that by speaking to Larry at the Ardone Zoo, and he'll tell you to keep an eye on penguins throughout your sort of travelling on RuneScape. Now there's an actual world, most of you probably know this already though, World 60 has a clan that is set up especially for sort of trapping penguins, and they have a web page that you can visit to find out where all the current locations of penguins are, so you can use that to find all the penguins within sort of an hour depending on obviously where they are, and obviously the points can be redeemed for experience. And with obviously completing this quest, you'll now receive 2 points for certain penguins instead of the 1 that you'd originally got. So it's quite worth a while. If you want to learn more about obviously the penguin clan, if you just search on Google World 60 Penguins, it should come up with their website and you can find out more from there. But yeah, I don't think you'll run into any problems following my guide. However, if you do get stuck at any part at all, leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll help you out as best I can. If not, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, favourite, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. Cheers guys, bye bye.